G'day, it's Ken here from Breathe Better Salt Rooms. Today I'm going to talk about salt therapy and respiratory syncytial virus. That's commonly known as RSV. It's a viral infection of the airways, so it impacts the sinus, the throat, the trachea and the bronchi, and left unchecked actually can initiate quite a lot of other conditions. It's quite contagious, it's quite widespread, quite common. In fact, it's probably the leading cause of babies and toddlers to be hospitalised, and left unchecked can lead towards bronchiolitis and pneumonia in babies. This can infect people of all ages, but it has a greater impact on babies and toddlers and those in the 60 plus years of age group, and those who've got respiratory compromised systems, because they simply amplify pre-existing respiratory issues like asthma and emphysema and so forth. So the way it works, quite a lot often the symptoms involved a runny nose, blocked and runny nose, scratchy sore throat, inflamed airways, chesty coughs, and difficulty breathing. Right. So salt therapy can actually help greatly in the recovery of RSV. So typically with babies, as I mentioned earlier, it can escalate quite significantly to bronchiolitis and pneumonia. So the way salt therapy works is that salt will actually break up the congestion in the sinus, and then eventually draw out that inflammation and expose the virus to that saline solution that's created in there by the salt that's inhaled. That will dehydrate the virus and kill it off. Same goes down the throat, down the trachea and the bronchi. It'll actually break up all that congestion. So all that down the trachea, down the primary bronchi, and then the secondary bronchi is all inflamed, very difficult to breathe, and very difficult for babies particularly to cough up. But what the salt will do is break it all up and allow the congestion to be pushed up, where the babies will just simply swallow it down, and they'll end up with a gluggy number 2 down the track. So don't be alarmed, it's not gastro, it's just simply it's a good sign that that congestion's moved out of the airways and they've swallowed and it's gone out the other end. Once the congestion clears out of the way, the salt can actually land on the inflamed walls of the bronchi and the primary bronchi and start drawing out all that inflammation. So eventually all this area becomes quite clear, and the airway slowly but surely opens up and allows for easier breathing, reduces the amount of coughs, although initially there might be some coughs to remove that early phlegm. So once it opens up, as I said before with the sinuses, it exposes the virus to the saline solution and dehydrates it and kills it off. Now, how effective and how long that takes? Usually I like to recommend 3 sessions a week over the course of a couple of months, give or take a couple of weeks. That's how long usually we find with our babies and toddlers take to recover. Particularly, it heads off any chances of bronchiolitis and pneumonia. For those who are adults, their immune system takes a little bit longer to reset and rebuild, maybe closer to 3 months. Right. Now, I mentioned earlier that it's quite contagious and can be spread quite easily through touch and through sneezing and coughing. Now, in the salt rooms, with all the high salt content in the air, dry salt that is, any airborne pathogens that they need little particles of water to travel from the sneeze and the cough from one person to another in order to infect them. But in that journey in the salt rooms, it'll run into a lot of salt, turn that droplet into a saline solution, which in turn dehydrates bacteria and viruses. So that results in it dying virtually before it leaves, just as it leaves the mouth or the nose. So it's quite safe in the salt rooms. Very difficult to get infections from other people in there. All right. So hopefully that helps to understand RSV a bit more. It's just a simple viral infection that salt therapy can help greatly with the recovery. All right. Cheers. Until next time. Bye.